I am joined by Arne Huschenbeth, who is playing Izzet Epiphany, kind of the deck with the biggest target on its head. What made you play this one, Arne?
Well, you always try to find a deck that beats like the metagame, but for this one we just couldn't find it and we just had to stick with the best deck. It is super, super resilient. It has all the tools. It has 50-ish, 50% matchups. We're happy with our list, so that's why I took this choice.
Makes sense to me. So first, let's get into the disruption sweep that you have. And we've seen a lot of these cards before in other Izzet lists. Fading Hope, Burn Down the House, but Burning Hands and Tested Talons, especially in the main deck. Tell me a little bit about why you chose to play those.
Well, with choosing Disruption, you want to choose them for the metagame, right? We expected Izzet turns to be the most played deck, so that's why you see the Test of Talents. We expected Mono Green to be like probably the second most played deck. It is very strong, right? So I wanted those couple of Burning Hands. Fading Hope, Burn Down the House, flexible, good against any creature decks, right? The Demon Bolt just as a one-off.
Yeah, and Demon Bolt foretelling when it could be an all-run. You gotta love that sneaky aspect of it. So now let's talk about a little bit of the card advantage you have here. We have Memory Deluge and Expressive Iteration, but I really want to hear about Unexpected Windfall. Tell me a little bit about this card. This isn't what we see in a lot of lists, so yeah, tell me about it.
Well, we're trying to figure out how to beat the mirror, and I'm testing with Strosky and Sivka. They're even playing 4 Windfall.
Wow.
I chose just to play 3, and the card is just really, really good, especially with Galvanic Iteration. If you get to copy it on turn 6, you just draw go in the mirror, and it's fine against any other deck. Essentially, just ramping you up on turn 4 with these 2 treasures is just such an immense tempo advantage that is really crucial.
Yeah, especially when you have some extra cards that are maybe dead in the matchup to be able to toss them away and get ramp. That makes sense to me. Card seems really sweet when you can ramp straight into Epiphany. Speaking of Epiphany, let's get to this last slide here where we have Alrund's Epiphany, Hall of the Storm Giants, Galvanic Iteration as kind of these win cons. Let's talk about that first. What made you choose to play mostly 3 Galvanic Iteration? I think that's the thing that sticks out to me the most.
Yeah, Galvanic Iteration is very, very important, especially with Time Warp. It's what you're doing with this deck, right? Some people might look at this and think, oh, he's not playing much kill conditions. How does this work? But yeah, you just you just copy the Time Walk once, and you have the birds, you have the man land potentially. You can get Mascot Exhibition with Divide by 0. And yes, I didn't want to play 4. I just wanted to play 3 Iteration because drawing them too many could be awkward. They're not good in the early game, right? But 3 is a good number, so that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, even when you can copy Burning Hands or some aggressive or some removal against aggressive decks, it still seems completely fine to me. And when you get that combo of Galvanic Iteration All Run plus Hall of the Storm Giants, that's a lot of damage for you. And now lastly let's talk about Divide by 0. What made you really want to play this? Is there a lot of threats that are tough to deal with removal that you wanted this, or is it really just because of the lessons in the sideboard?
Well, on the one side, you want to have counter spells for the mirror match. On the other side, you don't want to have counter spells against these lean white aggro and mono green aggro decks. Divide by 0 kind of fills that middle ground, that is good when you're behind on board, but also fine when you're ahead or just on parity in the mirror when you're trying to interact with flashback cards or with Epiphany. Yeah.
I love it. Well, hey, Arne, I wish you the best of luck here at the World Championship. I hope you're taking a lot of extra turns. And we're going to send it back to you at the World Championship.